about 10 pages of notes, and I don't think I can get them all done tonight, I don't believe. So we're going to do, we'll finish them next week tonight. Like this several verses of scripture we're going to read tonight, you remain seated as I read, because there's about 3 places in the Bible we're going to turn to and read before we go into the message about the detour of determination, about Caleb. So in Joshua chapter 14, we're going to begin reading verse number 9. And it says, "And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land wherein thy foot I have trodden shall be thine inheritance, and thy children forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God." He's talking about Caleb here. And now, behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And lo, I am this day 85 years old. Verse 11 said, "And as yet as I am strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me, as my strength was then, so is my strength now, for war, both to go out and come in. Now therefore give me this mountain whereof the Lord spoke in that day, for thou heardest in that day how the Anakites were there, and that the cities were good and fenced. If it so be the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said." And then verse number 13 said, "And Joshua blessed him, and gave unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron for an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, in this day, because he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel." Verse 24 said, But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit," that's Numbers 14:24. "But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, has followed me wholly, or fully. Him will I bring into the land wherein he went, and his seed shall possess it." May the Lord add the blessing to the word of God. Last week we talked about how Caleb, God put him on a detour. And it was a determined detour. He was determined in the detour he had to take. He had already spied out the Canaan, him and Joshua. 10 other spies went. They came back. The spies said, "We can't go." Caleb said, "We can't go. We were well able to take it." But because of the unbelief of the children of Israel, Caleb had to take that detour of determination. And we understand sometimes we all face trials. But we do. And sometimes we have to be determined. Like Caleb had to determine in his heart. Because his ultimate goal was to reach Canaan. But you see all the blockades that came in front of it. How the Israelites did not listen. They listened to the 10 spies. And Caleb, he had followed, the Bible said, and I like it said, he had followed the Lord wholly, or fully. Last week we talked about, I'm going to mention the points, I'm going to go on into the message tonight. We talked about why he was so determined, Caleb was so determined to do what God had commanded. And we remember we said he was committed to do God's will. He had a great commitment, he was going to do it. Then he had a concrete faith and obedience to God. He believed the promise of God, and he also knew that he was going to do, God was going to do what he said. That's what we need to understand. When God said he's going to do something, he's going to do something. Amen. And Caleb was motivated by God's promises. That one day, he didn't realize, God said you're going to enter in. And it never crossed his mind that he weren't. Even though they said we can't. And Caleb said, God said we can't. So he was determined, set on a detour determination. And Caleb was comforted And he comprehended the presence of God in his life. So we're going to take up and talk about them, how he had to take that detour of determination. Has there been times in your life you wanted to do something, and something come up that kept you from doing it? And maybe later on, you got to accomplish that. That's the way it was here with Caleb. If they'd have listened to Caleb and Joshua, they'd have been in Canaan 40 years earlier instead of going 40 years late. But he had to take a detour of determination. Sometimes God changes the past. It's God's doing. A lot of times, it's God's doing it. We have to do that sometimes. Need to understand, we don't understand the ways of God, like I said, I've said many times. But we ought to know his ways is right and true, and they're holy. What he does for us is good for us. And we need to realize that tonight. So we see here, we ought to see here, how did he conquer the fears he had? You know he had fears in this thing that was happening. And verse 30 in Numbers 13 it says, and Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we were able to overcome it. And number 14:9 said, only rebel ye not against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they're bread for us. Their defense is apart from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. You know what he was saying? Let's go ahead and get it done right now. Let's go. How did he conquer his fear, you see? You know what the worst enemy of the Christian is fear. A lot of people today, that's why a lot of times people don't step forward and move forward any further in faith than they do. Because they're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of the unfamiliar. But Caleb, he conquered that fear. I mean, he had his whole, everybody, all of them was against him. And Joshua, because they said, we're going to go. A lot of folks, a lot of Christians are like ball players. They're sitting on the bench. What they're doing is sitting there watching the others on the ball field playing. They're sitting there just observing. Just like I heard a preacher say a long time ago, there's a lot of spectators but not enough participators, and that's about right. So Caleb, he had to conquer his fear. You see, those people, the Israelites, you got to realize this. They were overcome with fear. When the spies came back from Canaan and told them how big them men people were, they were overcome with fear. Sometimes their problem, the trial we face, seem to be bigger than we can imagine. And we get overcome with fear because really we're trying to limit God because we think they're too big for God to take care of us. The only difference between these two people, between Joshua and Caleb and the people, the difference between them two different group of people, was this. Caleb focused, you see, the people focus on their fears. But Joshua and Caleb focused on God and his ability. Hey, you know tonight, you understand, you don't know tonight, folks. Some of you got situations in your life tonight. And the devil done told you that you're not going to be able to overcome that. That you're not going to be able to win that battle. That there's no way things are going to be right. You're going to fail. That's exactly what these folks said. Hey, we can't go in. Don't you big people up there. We can't do it. Joshua and Caleb said, hey, I believe Joshua been forbid. Caleb and said, hey, look, they may be big, but our God's bigger, amen. So we see what happened. So Isaiah 41:10 says, fear thou not, for I am with thee, be not dismayed. For I am thy God, I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Psalm 27:1, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? So we see here, Caleb had conquered his fear. Because he got focused on the right thing. When we don't get focused on the right thing, our fear overcomes. We may have a little bit of nervousness about us in situations. Maybe not fear, but we've got confidence that God's going to take care of us, and we've got to stick with it and go on like Caleb did. Too many times we let our fear defeat us. Too many times we change direction and rely on ourselves because of fear. When God said yes, we'll end up the flesh says no, and sometimes we listen to the flesh. But he said, you know, he come back and say, hey, them boys are big. I hear him say, you know what, fellas, we saw them giants, they big men. Big, big men. There's no way they can stomp us like bees. There's no way we can conquer that. We might as well turn around and go that easy. See what happened? Caleb said, they're just breadfruits. He had already conquered his fear. He done anchored his faith and his hope in the promises of God. And that's what we can do. I know we get down and out, we get discouraged because sometimes we don't see action quick enough in our eyes, and we think it's not quick enough. And God will delay. Sometimes God ain't going to answer it. It's just God delays answering your prayer for reasons. How did he conquer his fear? Look here. He just relied on God. You know what? He was convinced, he was confident, and he relied upon God. That's what people need to understand tonight. How many people tonight you reckon be sent to the church, figure to church tonight? Had they not been overcome with their fears and hadn't trusted God to take care of what they were going through? Instead of turn tide and just quit, get out of the church and out of your. So how many people you reckon you know of in your lifetime that used to be a faithful church member, they used to pay tithe, they used to be a blessing, but somehow something come along in their life and they quit serving God because of fear. And that's what these folks want. These folks are saying, we want to quit. We want to quit. God said, okay, so we ain't quitting. God ain't brought us this far to turn us back and go to Egypt, amen. And God ain't brought you as far as He brought you tonight and make you go back to Egypt, either, amen. Amen. So we see here, he was confident, he was convinced that God was going to get him to Canaan. He depended on God and relied upon God. The Bible says here in John 14:12, verily, verily, I say to you, he that believeth on me, the works that I shall do, he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. What was the difference between Caleb? The Bible said he had a different spirit and attitude. Right? He had a different spirit, he had a right attitude. Attitude means a lot. If you have a good spirit, a good attitude, you can go a long way in your walk with God. But if you walk around a defeated spirit and a defeated attitude, you're not going to get too much in your walk with the Lord. But we see here, we read here in the Scripture, in Hebrews 10:22 says, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. What does full assurance in that Scripture mean? It means a most certain confidence. It should be, our faith should be characterized by one thing, by absolute certainty. You remember the disciples that day at the feeding of the 4,000? And Jesus told them, I want you to go to the other side. I said, I'm going to go to the mountain and pray. And you read the Scripture how when they got right in the middle of that boat, in the middle of that ocean, or in that lake, Sea of Galilee, that wind began to blow. The wind began to blow, they began to be frightened. And they knew they was going to go down, they was going to wreck, they was going to die. And we see Jesus came walking on the water. And he cried out in his eye, be not afraid. Had not Jesus intended them for them to get to the other side, he wouldn't tell them to go to the other side.
Amen.
God intended us to get to the other side. Had not, He would have told us to go get to the other side. But see, faith and fear and doubt cause us to doubt God's promise, doubt His word. And we feel like we're going to fall out of the wayside, we're not going to make it. The biggest problem with a lot of people is failure. They fear they're going to fail. But you never want to lose inside when you're walking with God, amen.
Amen.
Abraham had the same kind of confidence as Caleb did. You remember when God told him to go off for Isaac over the Mount Moriah? Remember that? Isaac asked his daddy a question. In verse number, and Genesis 22:7, he asked him a question. Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire of the wood, but where the lamb with the burnt offering? And then what he said, he told him, he said here, Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb with a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. You know what? It actually showed me that to Isaac, he was confident that God's going to provide a lamb for the burnt offering. He knew he was. If it meant sacrificing Isaac, it would have been provided. But he had confidence in that God's word would not return void. And you know, remember not when you're walking through the valley, remember He go, Lo, I'm with you all the way. I'm all the way with you. I won't never let you down, never forsake you. But our fear sometimes overrides our faith. What you listen to, the voice you listen to the most, the voice you're going to obey. If you listen to the devil, you're going to be full of fear. You listen to God, He's going to give you courage. That's exactly what we need tonight, is courage in our life. Too many people don't want to go do anything with God because they're afraid, hey, what if I fail? Well, how do you want to be the first one to fail and won't be the last one to fail? But if you go in the name of the Lord, and even though it don't go the way you think it should, you're not going to fail God. You've not failed long as you've done what God told you to do. He said, Lord, He told Abraham told Isaac, my son, God Himself will provide a sacrifice. Provide Himself a lamb. You know what word provide means? That God will see to it and take care of it. That's what it means. I'll tell you what, friend. We trust Him with our problem, He'll take care of us. Our problem when we panic. If we act with no faith, we'll react frantically. If we act, you know what? If we act with fear, we'll react frantically. We'll make mistakes that we wish we hadn't done. We jump the gun a lot of times, don't we? Y'all listen tonight. You jump the gun tonight.
Amen.
When God wants to do something, we jump the gun instead of listening to it. We want it done quicker than what God wants us to do it. And we need to learn God knows the right time frame when He wants it done. Amen. Ain't no sense in waiting. Ain't no sense, hey, Lord, I want you to hurry up. You can't your mind not tell God to hurry up. You may change your mind altogether. You may decide He ain't going to do that because you try to do it with the spirit of the flesh. God ain't going to listen to you. But I want to show you something here, folks. How did God help him on the detour? How did He going to help you on the detour you go through? How did He going to help me? See, Caleb wanted to go right on into the promised land. But it weren't Caleb and Joshua, but God basically here, He talks more about Caleb here than Joshua. You see, Caleb fully followed, wholly followed the Lord. He didn't say about Joshua, He said Caleb did. But they didn't want to go, so they had to take a detour. God sent them on a detour. For 40 years. And God already warned them to, I'll bless you and bless you, and I curse and curse you.
Amen.
And so He even told them one place, hey, if you don't obey me, I'll send hornets. Remember reading about that? Here's the problem they have. That Joshua and Caleb have with the people that we have in our life every day. First of all, They had problems. They feared the people sometimes. Had problems that people feared living in fear. They were fearful. And we have somebody in fear, they won't fearful. You can't get them to do what God tells you to do. That's what happened here. Not only that, they were rebellious. We have that in our churches all over the land. Rebellious people that won't listen to truth. No, God said that the word God told Caleb that God had promised the land to Joshua and Caleb. At the end that Moses had died, he said they're going to go over, but they would not listen. Didn't have no unbelief. They had unbelief. They didn't believe they were going to get in there. How many times do you read the Bible when it says, why you left us here to die in the wilderness? I mean, he always said, Lord, he always accused Joshua and Caleb. Even Moses said, you left us here. You brought us out here to die in this wilderness. And the devil gets you thinking, hey, God got you out there where you at tonight, and he's going to leave you there and die like a dog in the desert. But God saved you, God called you, God commissioned you, and he ain't going to let you fail. He's going to be right with you all the way.
Amen.
Praise God, they'll never forget that tonight, amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
How about all the threats he had? Even they threatened Joshua and Caleb. He said in number 14:10, but all the congregation made stone them with stone, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. They threatened and said, we're going to stone you, man. They said, you brought us out here, we better off in Egypt anyway. That's what they said, we'd better off back there in Egypt. Which that was a lie. People naturally assume when they go get in a battle with God, get battle and living for God, the devil will make it better, hey, make it feel like, hey, it's better off where you were. But that ain't nothing but a trick of the devil, the deceptive lie of the devil. They doubted God. That we read a while ago in Numbers 31, 32, in chapter 13. But the men went up with him and went with him, saying, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through we have gone to search it, is the land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people we saw in it are men of great stature. So you know what they did? They had doubt. They doubted God would do it. Why would God bring them out of Egypt if he wouldn't intend on taking the continent to Canaan? God, these folks talk about getting saved and get lost, getting saved and get lost. Why would God save you unless you get lost again?
Amen.
Not only that, friend. At the time they were unfaithful and uncommitted to God. And we have people like that everywhere. You know yourself. We got this people you know right now. You can name people that's unfaithful and uncommitted to God. They're not willing to take that detour of commitment, detour of determination. They're unfaithful and uncommitted to God. Even in number 14:33 says, your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years and bear your whoredom until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. And then they wouldn't listen. I wonder many times, when a man of God preaches, how many really get the message? How many, let's see, how many times does the message affect them? The Israelites had seen God do so many other things. How God had provided for them. How God had fed them, given them water. But now they were doubting God and said, hey, they doubted it. They wouldn't listen. Number 14:22 says, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and are not hearkening my voice, you know what he said? They wouldn't listen. They said they're going to pay for that too, you see. God, like I said a while ago, Caleb didn't choose this detour. God chose it for him. God will test your faith. He'll test you in your trials. Sometimes sometimes you must take a detour of determination like Caleb did. Because those of you listen to the wrong people sometimes, it gets you in a whole mess of trouble with God.
Amen.
You listen to people that say, hey, just don't serve God. Just quit serving God. Go back in the world. We love you. That's not a lie. There's nobody that's really right with God, and people right with God ain't nobody love you no more than God's people, friend.
That's right.
But how did God help Caleb? Here's something that we all need. He gave Caleb patience. You know what Joshua said in the book of Joshua 14:8 says, nevertheless, my brother that went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I wholly followed the Lord thy God, he was patient. Can you imagine this? Now, I want you to think about this. I thought about this. I started studying this out. Now, Moses and Aaron and Caleb and Joshua, they had helped these people. They had helped, they prayed for these people. They loved these people. And they did a great work. God did a great work through them to help them people, but now them people wanted to stop them. They wouldn't let them out of Egypt. And now they want to kill them. Can you imagine that? Maybe we've not had it that extreme in our life before. But how many of us have helped people that they just act as though we've never done that before? Have you ever had anybody like that? You've helped people, you've done for people. And Joshua and Caleb, they braved the one, they went in there and they looked, and they spied that out. They came back. Joshua took over from Moses when Moses went out to sea. Joshua was leading them. After Moses had died, you remember. And they said, hey, we're going to kill them two preachers. They forgot how many times that preacher prayed for them. That's why a lot of folks don't understand. People get mad with the man of God. They got like that. They say, let's get some stones and kill him. Can you imagine? That takes patience to take something like that, brother. But it takes patience when people do you wrong. And you still try to return kindness to them even though you know how they've done you. But you have to. That's why he had patience. You know how frustrating that probably was with Caleb? To put up with all them griping and grumbling and belly aching people. He probably wanted to wring their neck what he wanted to do. He probably felt like breaking their neck, Brother Bill, more likely. Got tired of it. Bunch of whiny crybabies in the wilderness. God had done so much for them. But now they said, we're going to kill the preacher, the one that helped us the most, we're going to get rid of them. Because we feel like we'll be better off than we were. And that's a lie. Listen, I've been saved 41 years. And I know I'm not better off today than I was before I got saved. I know I'm a whole lot better off today. Yeah, it's discouraging. Can you imagine the frustration he had? Imagine the patience that he had. Boy, that man was a patient man. He's still, about all through this, the Bible said he's holy Father of God. He probably wanted to wring their neck, but God rewarded him for staying with him. The ones sometimes that don't deserve our love, they need our love more than anybody else. And John and Caleb had a patient spirit about it. God gave him patience. God gave him determination. Give Caleb determination. And the patience to stay determined to gain the victory. How we have patience? Well, first of all, we need to. I'll go ahead and try to get through these quick. I'll give you some points. First of all, what is our point of focus to have patience in our life? What can we focus on that we can have patience in our life? The Bible said here in Psalms 37:7, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him that prospers in his way.
Hey.
Because of the man who which bringeth wicked devices to pass. How? Our focus. We gotta have our focus is on him. Rest in him. Lean on the everlasting arm of God.
Praise God, yes.
When you can't walk, can't stand, I'm glad we can lean, amen?
Amen.
I'm glad we can lean on his arms. When we're not strong, lean on him when you're not strong. What's another thing? How long till we have patience for, preacher? What is the period, time frame of having patience? James 5:7 says this. Be patient therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. What did he say? He said here, therefore, brethren, be patient therefore, brethren, what? Until the coming of the Lord.
Amen.
And over till Jesus come back. Boy, that'll crack somebody's pride. Boy. It takes patience. God has to give us patience, don't he? We must be patient because I know some of you work with people that's infidels, you around people that don't serve God. You have family members that about run you half start going crazy, I know.
Amen.
You have to say, Lord, help me every day. God, give me patience. How long patience? Until Jesus returns, until you go home and be with Jesus. Sometimes we fail that, don't we?
Amen.
Sometimes we fail, don't we?
Amen.
No, preacher, I don't tell that. We all do. Now, how long the period of patience, he said, until the coming of the Lord. Coming of the Lord. We have to work on that every day, don't we?
Yes, sir.
And what is the privilege of being patient? Well, what's the privilege added to it of being patient? The Bible says in Psalm, remember this, Isaiah 64:4, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard nor perceived by the ear, neither have that eye have seen, O God, beside thee, what they have prepared for them that waited for thee. We got something waiting on the other side.
Amen.
Patience. Be patient. We got something we're going to leave this world for. We got something that's out of this world waiting for us.
Praise God.
Sometimes our patience gets thin. And sometimes the flesh try to push us, get us over. People try your patience, I realize it. Some people just try to see how much they can, far they can push you, don't they?
Amen.
They try to see how, I believe some people just do it for spite, don't you do that?
Yes, amen.
You know what makes them mad? When you don't break. You just keep on serving God. Amen. They get mad at you, they saying at you, you just thought, I love you. That burns them up, that burns them up, that burns them up. But how long the period? Not that, the procedure of patience. The Bible said in Hebrews 12:1, wherefore seeing we also confess about so great a crowd of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race is set before us. See that marathon runner, he runs. Now, have you ever seen it on the, I used to watch it, you know what they do? They don't start out hard, they can go, Brother Mike. They don't do it. They pace themselves. And maybe the second, the last lap, but they turn the steam on. You'll see that. Because they know they start out too hard, they're weary by the wayside.
Yes, sir.
And they run that race with patience and wisdom. Because they don't, they'll destroy their chances of really finishing the race. I want to finish my race, don't you folks?
Amen.
I want to finish it with all the power, I just want to finish it in victory, amen?
Yes, sir.
And you know what? There's a good product of patience. You know what he said? You know what it is? Sticking with God sooner or later, you'll blessings from God. The Bible says here in Galatians 6:9, let us not be weary in well doing, For in due time we shall reap if we faint not.
Amen.
In other words, we'll get rewarded for it.
Sir.
It's hard. I ain't gonna stand up here tonight behind the pulpit and tell you it's easy to have patience. That's not. It isn't. But it's possible. And we can have this patience. We got when we get on that detour of determination. May seem like a long time, but it seemed like a long time to Joshua and Caleb. But you know what happened? They eventually stepped into Canaan. But it took a while. But you know what? The longer the journey, the sweeter the victory. Amen.
Yes.
The longer the wait. Can you imagine? You ever seen? I can't help it. Makes me cry about when I watch these videos of these boys that have been going overseas in the war, or gone over in the army, been gone from the family 3-4 years. And they show them coming in on the plane, and the wife, and then the little youngins, and all of a sudden, here comes Daddy, and you see them weep and cry and hug. And, oh, it's such a great time, great time. I want to tell you one thing we need to understand this tonight, folks. We need to understand. We may not see the fruits down here, but one day we're going to reap them when we get to the other side.
Yes, sir.
That's why I said be patient, friends. If we lose our patience, we'll lose more than that. We'll lose our testimony. We'll lose our effectiveness. And we'll lose effectiveness with God and with men. God gave also this. God gave Caleb, he persuaded Caleb. Number 14:8 said, if the Lord delighted in us, then he will bring us in his land. And give it us and make us full to everything. Caleb was a man of faith. And he was persuaded that he was going to get where God said he was going to get. This journey down here gets hard. And sometimes the devil makes us feel like, hey, you think you're going to make it? I know I'm going to make it. We're going to make it. What keeps us going? What keeps us keep walking with God when things are falling all around us? What keeps us going when we feel like, hey, there's nobody, you feel like, hey, everything I'm doing is a waste of time. What keeps us going when we get to the place where we feel like we're giving all we can give? That faith we have in the promises of God.
Praise God.
Them ladies sometimes sing Beulah. Like old Squire Parsons wrote that song. He says, I'm kind of homesick for our country.
Amen.
Which I've never been before. One day, old Dr. Spurgeon said, we shall get home. We shall get home. He was a man of persuasion, faith. What does the Bible say about faith? What's the source of our faith? The Bible says, so faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. That's where our source of faith comes. It don't come, it's the word of God. What about the summons of our faith? It says here, he said we got to have faith to grow in the Lord. That's how we do it. We need to desire to have that faith. The Bible says, you know what apostles, in Luke 17:5, what the apostles said to Jesus, and the apostles said to the Lord, increase our faith. We all need our faith increased up.
Yes, sir. Amen.
We do. But I tell you what, what keeps us going for God is our faith. That's exactly what keeps us going. It sure ain't the feelings. It sure ain't the feelings. I know some of you tired tonight. If you went by your feelings, you'd stay at home and rest. But you went by faith to come to church.
Amen.
That's what calls you to do that. To be faithful to God is your faith. That's how you serve God. Your service with God is faith in Jesus, in God, and walking with God. You know there's many ways you can please God, but none of them will work if it ain't by faith. You know that? Because the Bible said, but without faith it's impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to God must believe that He is, and that He is reward of them that diligently seek Him. What our faith does, it gives us that. It gives us the courage to face the present, the future, with a divine expectancy. How about faith? At Detour Of Determination. Nobody can give you that but God. And you got to settle it in your mind, hey, I'm going to stay with God. And the only way you do that is your faith be increased. And your faith is anchored in the one that you can focus on that never fails. You know what the standard of faith is? The Bible says over here in the book of James 2:17, it says that even though faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone. Doubt you know what doubt does? Doubt makes mountains that faith can move.
Amen. I like that. Amen.
Doubt makes mountains that faith can move.
Yes.
I want to tell you what, friend. Faith that moves mountains, or He'll help you tunnel through those mountains to climb the mountain. If God chooses not to move your mountain, He'll give you strength to climb that mountain.
Amen.
Man, I go to Brother Dean Powell's. He lives in Grundy, Virginia. And you go through those two tunnels on 77. I hate them. I hate to go through the tunnels. I hate being close like that. One of those tunnels, they about over a mile long, brother. They said when they built those tunnels back in the 70s, it saved people almost an hour or more time to be able to go through those mountains and get to where they're going. And you know what? Probably people look to how we're going to, probably a lot of people, how are we going to we can't get nowhere. It takes us so many hours to get from Whitesville over Bluefield. They said, well, what we're going to do, we're going to do that mountain. They said, that's a big mountain. That's a long mountain. They done it. I think it took them 2.5 years to dig that tunnel. But I'll tell you what, Fred. You can have faith to move that mountain, faith is the mustard seed. But if God don't choose to move that mountain, He'll give you strength to climb my mountain or dig through that mountain. Then He get out. He went up. We can subdue our enemies without subduing our faith. The Bible said in 1 John 5, for whatsoever is born of God overcome. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world. Even our faith. That's how we can overcome. We're more than conquerors through Him that loved us.
Amen.
Amen. The shield of faith. The Bible says in Ephesians 6:16, above all take the shield of faith wherewith you be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Well, I'm going to finish this tonight. I didn't think I'd finish it, but I'll finish it tonight. You know what happened? When Caleb was sent on this detour of determination, God helped him to have power over himself, to control himself. So God helped him to control his anger and frustration with these people. You know he got frustrated with them. You know he did. You probably got to the point and said, Lord, I just want to give up. But he was self-controlled. He dealt with it. God taught him to, during this journey, brother Knight, God taught him to deal with any kind of discouragement. That's what gives people, brother Mike, that's what helps give people determination to keep going in spite of all the things going on in their life. You remember Jesus preached over John 6, over the bread line, John 6? And so me and John's disciples turned, walking on with him. Jesus turned to the 12 and said, will you also go away? Peter said, Lord, where we going to go? You got the word of life. Where we going to go to? You're not on me to depend on to help us through. But I'll tell you something, friend. God gave him courage. God gave Caleb courage. All through these years. Now, you got to realize, as I read the opening scriptures, Caleb was 85 years old. But he said, I'm just as strong and just as spry as I was when I was 45. I won't be able to say that. If God lets me live 85 years. I'm nowhere near as spry as I used to be, and I ain't 62 yet. And I still hurt the place. I still hurt. I have aches and pains I used to have. But throughout all these years, God gave him courage on this journey, on this detour of determination. He had courage to keep going on, even though everybody seemed like they had said they done everything they could to discourage him. I'm going to tell you what, I found out a long time ago, sometimes the people that you love the most discourage you the most.
Amen.
Caleb kept going. God provided Caleb with strength. He even said here in Joshua 14, 10, 11, and now behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he has said, these 45 years, even since the Lord spake the word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness, and lo, now lo, I'm this day, 85 years old. He's at 85 years old. I wonder what it said in verse 11. He said, yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me, and my strength was then, even so my strength is now. For war to both go out and to come in. Amen. Joshua and Caleb were the exception to the judgments of God upon those men over 20 years old. Why? Because they wanted to go on in. They said, let's go. They said, no, we're not going. God dropped the carcass in the wilderness. They didn't see it. Those 20 years above never saw the promised land. Caleb and Joshua did. Why? Because they had strength. God strengthened them, and they walked and they believed God. That's what we need to understand tonight. I know the problem we have. Sometimes they like, hey, Ricky, when they're going to be solved? Wait on God. He give you that, you on that detour determination. Wait on it. He's going to do it. It may take a while, but it will come to pass. And this is the last but all. I didn't think I'd preach this. I've been going through a little fast, but trying to get it done. How do we strengthen ourselves in the Lord? I'll give you some big points and we'll close. Realize that the Lord is your source of strength and not other people, other things. Psalm 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in time of need.
Amen.
Remember, the Lord loves you and cares for you. Isaiah 26:3, thou wilt keep in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Psalm 118:6 said, the Lord is on my side, I will not fear what man can do unto me. Praise God.
Yes.
How else you receive the grace of God when you're weak and helpless, and he'll strengthen you. 2 Corinthians 12:9-10, and he said to me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. More gladly would I rather glory in my infirmity, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities and reproaches, in necessity and persecution, in distress, and for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. We can be strong because we allow God to give us strength. How have you made it through those valleys you had to face? It ain't been your own strength, I tell you that. Who you think held you up when you was about to fall? Praise God, it was the Lord. Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Psalm 42:5 said, why art thou cast down on my soul? And why art thou disquieted in me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance. Many times our trials cause us to take action that God don't direct us to take. And we may end up making more problems for us than we had originally had. To do like Caleb in our clothing. When he started praying on God. God puts you on the detour of determination. You have to be determined, hey, I'm going to stay on this journey. It may be hard, I may cry a lot, I may have to cry out to God. I may go down to the lowest of valleys sometimes, but if I'm in the valley, He's there. If I'm on the mountain, He's there. Yeah, I'll never escape God. God takes care of me. That's how we do, folks. Stay with God. He'll see you through, friend. That detour of determination. Our Father, we love you tonight. Thank you for the night you've given us. Thank you for these come.